it's Maryanne. Today we're going to talk about why you need a fundraising coach and why you need to be a fundraising coach, because that is truly what is going to make a difference in your life and in your ability to raise money more easily. Remember, more frequently, faster, and with less follow-up. So many times I see people relying on strategy and training. Strategy is great, training is great. You need both those things, but mostly they do not shift your mindset. They do not shift your thinking. And if you look at it as sort of a triad, the strategy, the what to do, how to do it, but also the mindset to get it done. And not just your mindset, but the mindset of everyone around you that you want to bring along on this journey. And a lot of times you're assigning jobs to people. You're telling your board, give me 10 names. They're never going to do that. They, I don't think in the history of boards, all your board is like, yeah, let me give you 10 names. Yet we try it all the time. That's a strategy. And it's not supporting you. When you become a coach, you are going to shift your mindset and internal narratives. You're going to remove those barriers to participation, and you're going to build self-awareness, neutrality, and empathy, both in yourself and those around you. And that's why it's important for you to get coaching so you can build these skills and then transfer them to others. This is exactly how I operate. Why I coach and train people is not so they can have a lifelong codependent relationship with me. It's so they have the skills they need to coach others. When I build you up, you can build them up, and then they can build others up. And now you've got people working for you, right? And in support of you. It can be so frustrating. Why can't you get more people to help, especially around fundraising? Why doesn't the board, the committees, your staff, whatever, whoever it is, and you're giving them training or you're trying new strategies and it's just not working? And I want to say the most impactful thing you can do is learn how to coach them in into better habits, into better mindset. Because again, coaching is about shifting the mindset. And we often forget about that piece. How we think and feel is very critical to what we're going to do. Okay. Part one, I'm going to talk to you about, and this is in two parts. Part one is why you need a fundraising coach. And you can talk to me if you want, anybody, really. There's so many great ones. You pick the one that works best for you. I'm happy to talk to you about it, but mostly I just want you to understand that you deserve support and help. First of all, every development director or executive director carries invisible baggage. You just do. We all do. It's okay. Your fear of rejection, your stories about money, power, or worth. I've done a lot about money mindset and fundraising and how that can really inhibit your ability to ask for and receive money. Pressure to perform without disappointing others. Coaching helps you identify and dismantle these internal blocks so you can really get that baggage out of the way and clear it out. Strategy won't help you do this, okay? You got to do some internal work and it'll pay off big time. And we tend to maybe overlook the internal barriers because maybe we don't believe them or don't understand them. But coaching helps you get out of your own way in ways you didn't even realize you were in your own way. In ways that you probably attributed to, oh, I didn't ask at the right time, or I'm not sending it out, or we need to email more, email less, or any of those things. It's not the strategy. Sometimes you're just in your own way. Okay. And that's okay. We all do it, and you can get out of it. Okay. Number two, coaching builds self-awareness and neutrality. When you're coached well, you learn to separate facts from stories, stay curious instead of reactive, and respond rather than defend. You can become more self-aware about who you are, how you show up, how you respond. And because sometimes we think the stories in our head are actually true, that they are facts, and there's facts and there's feelings. And sometimes we feel like we're so unsupported, but the fact is that we are. Sometimes the stories in our head, are that you can understand what's really happening around you and ground yourself in that, not the spinning narrative that your head tells you. You're going to stay curious instead of reactive. Instead of wanting to defend, deny, deflect, you can say, tell me more about that. Help me understand that. You have an air of neutrality. Not other what other people do don't affect you. You can stay sovereign in a situation. Is someone upset? Yes. Does it feel bad? Yes. Can you handle it? Absolutely. Okay. And you're going to respond rather than deflect, deny, defend. These skills are so essential when a donor might say no, a board member resists, they're not doing what you asked. It happens a lot. Or a campaign stalls. Neutrality is not detachment, it's clarity without self-judgment. It is really good information. When your board isn't doing what you ask them, that's not a reflection of you or them or anything or the stories in your head. It's information. They are not responding. What is that telling me? How can I work with that? How can I better serve them? That's the neutrality of it. You can depersonalize most things. Not that things don't hurt, you know what I'm saying, or that you don't get disappointed. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you just know how to navigate that and you can and life becomes more neutral. Not everything is an attack on you. Okay, the last part and my favorite, obviously, because I'm the queen, coaching helps you stay sovereign. Sovereignty means you own your own thoughts, actions, and choices. You do not outsource your confidence to outcomes. And you do not let no define your worth or competence. I'm going to go through these again because they're very important. You own your own thoughts, choices, and actions, right? I own it. It's me. I'm the sovereign one. I say who comes and goes. I say who I work with. I say what my schedule looks like. I say when I can meet. I don't have to drop everything when a board member calls. I don't have to immediately respond to an email. I get to say, I am the sovereign one. And you do not outsource your confidence to outcomes. So is what is external doesn't define me. If somebody says yes or somebody says no, if I raise a lot of money or not, does not define my worth. And you all know I have this mantra because I've read you this before, but I'll read it again. I am not dictated or controlled by outer circumstances that I have allowed to own me. Something being there or not does not decide my power, capability, or worth. When I show up, the universe shows up. I don't entertain anything else. I am sovereign in my field of existence. I am not about the outcome, but about staying on the throne. And what I mean like that, the outcome is going to be the outcome, but I'm going to remain sovereign for it. And I do not let, well, I sort of just went over this, but I do not let no define my worth or competence. No, like a no is an okay thing. It's part of the process. It's part of the job, and I can receive a no with grace. No one can be more committed to your outcomes than you. This is why I don't really do traditional consulting because this is a way that we sort of abdicate our outcomes and pay somebody to get us the outcomes um that we don't want to have to do the hard work, right? The coaching, the removing the barriers, the internal work to get. I just want to give you some money and I want to get, to bring me some money. But they're not going to be as committed to the outcomes as you. No one's going to be more committed than you. A coach helps you practice sovereignty consistently, not just when things are going well. And that is the really important thing. A lot of times people say, "Oh, when things calm down, I'll do the work." You know what? When you do the work, things calm down. When you get a coach, things just calm down automatically because you're just dealing with it differently. You're seeing the world through different eyes. You have a guidance, you have a way of accessing your sovereignty, your neutrality, and your confidence that no matter what's going on, you're doing better with it. So it's not when things calm down, I will. It's like when you get the coaching, things will calm down. I 100% guarantee it. So if you're in a position where you're feeling overwhelmed, where you're feeling burnt out, where you're feeling like you need some guidance, you need some input, you need some support, you need a coach. Okay. And I said, it can be me, whoever, but somebody that's going to help you do those three things that I just said. Get out of your own way, build your self-awareness, and stay sovereign no matter the external circumstance, no matter what's happening. And there's some crazy crap happening in this world right now. Okay, part two. Why you can become, why it will serve you best to become a fundraising coach. When you see yourself as a fundraising coach, the world is going to get so much better for you in your ability to raise money. Once you've experienced coaching, something changes. It changed in me, it changes in all the people that I've coached and trained. You stop trying to convince people and start learning how to coach them into ownership. In influence, which I coach and train people to master the art of influence, I want people to choose what I want. What I want people I have no authority over to choose to do what I want them to do. Not because they have to do it, because they want to do it. They choose to do it. They have ownership of it. They feel connected to it. That's what makes them do it. Okay? Boards don't need more training. They need coaching. And if there's one thing I could say to you is if you are wanting to improve the your board's involvement, the first thing you need to do is learn how to coach them into more involvement. It's not strategy, it's not training, it's coaching. Let me tell you why. Most boards already know they should fundraise. I think most boards are filled with well-intentioned, committed people who are terrified of fundraising, right? They struggle with fear, avoidance, confusion about their role, and shame about past inaction. If they said, "Oh, can you give me those 10 names?" and they didn't, now there's shame involved. Now they're like, there's some resistance. How people think and feel about fundraising is directly tied to their ability to do it. Now, if you know me, you know that one of the things that I work with when I coach boards or when I coach people to coach boards is I don't think boards need to be asking for money. That's a pretty high level skill. But what they can do is introduce you to people who that you can have a meaningful relationship with, introduce you to people who are aligned and who want to see the same thing in the world that you do. And they're great at moving people from interest to connection, like people who are interested in your organization to having a deeper connection. There's lots of ways you can do that. I'm not going to get in here today, but I think one of the things is the fear, avoidance, and confusion is around their roles. It's around how they think and feel about themselves, that they don't understand the fundraising process. They just feel a bit lost, and you're not guiding them and helping them claim ownership of the process, so they are avoiding it. So coaching board members means asking better questions. Instead of telling them what to do, ask them, how can I support you? Help me understand. What can we do for you? Normalizing discomfort, which means helping them understand that, hey, we're growing in our skills, and sometimes discomfort is a part of that. We're out to change the world. That can get uncomfortable sometimes, and that's okay. And helping them articulate their why. And I really worked with a team the other day. I did some coaching with a team, and I had staff members and board members together going through this coaching. And it was really so good around the why and why are they there? This organization works with victims, teenage victims of sex trafficking. And it's like, why are they there? What drew them there? And tapping into that for them so they can be connected. And the last one is holding accountability, but without blame. When people say to me, hey, my board is not, active, or they're not coming through for me. First of all, you deserve a board that comes through for you, right? Enough of this, take your power back, learn how to coach them into performing better for you because you deserve that. But second, I often say, what's your system of accountability? And they probably don't have one. Oh, we don't have that. Okay, so what did they commit to doing? They didn't. What system of accountability do they have? And this is not about finger pointing or judgment. This is about saying, hey, you agreed to do this. What can I do to support you in that? You agreed to help us bring in 5 new sponsors. What can we do to support you in that? Oh, can you help me, come up with a list of mutually agreeable prospects? Sure. Most of the time, they're not giving you that name because they don't understand what you're going to do with it. They don't understand the fundraising process and their role in it. So they're gonna be like, I don't want to do that. I don't want you hitting up my friends, So they're gonna avoid what they don't understand. But then also, so it's like, hey, no, this is not about judgment. This is about holding you accountable and giving you the support you need to do the job that you committed to. That's all this is. Okay, let's keep going. Let's talk about staff now. Why your committees need fundraising coaching. Fundraising teams function best when people feel safe to be honest, right? They can say what's really going on. Resistance can be named without punishment. So you can say where your resistance is, where your fears lies, and accountability is shared. I'm not in this alone. You're not in this alone. We're all in this together, to quote High School Musical. And so staff committees are need coaching, not compliance, right? And so I don't want my committee to feel like they are on the hook or they are being hung out to dry. When they feel seen and heard, they will respond. Here's, as a coach, what you're going to be able to do for them. Create clarity for them, not pressure. Invite reflection, not defensiveness, and build confidence through practice, not perfection. And that's one of the things we really work on: permission to be bad, to be good, permission to be good, to be great. The first time maybe you ask somebody to attend a lunch and learn, it might feel clunky, but that's okay. We'll teach you how to do that. The first time you ask somebody for a connection convo to see if they'd like to get to know your organization better, it might feel clunky. That's okay. We're here to give you clarity, invite reflection, and build confidence. Okay? Committees can function really, really well, much the same way that a board can, but as long as they have the ability to create clarity, invite reflection, and build confidence. The same is true for your staff. Your staff wants the same thing. And your ability to coach your staff, of course, and this is where I think we get a little bit tangled up in this, because as a staff, as somebody who works for you, they have to do what you want them to do. What they function the best is when they choose to do what you want them to do. They can't wait to do. They're excited. They can't wait to call that donor. They can't wait to do that. And what that looks like is when you create clarity, invite reflection, and build confidence through practice. When you create a space that allowed for truth telling, for them to be vulnerable and open about what their fears and concerns are, and that you can give them tools to help them get out of their own way. Because the same things that are weighing you down might be weighing your board, your staff committees, and your staff down, right? The way they're getting in their way, their insecurities, their relationship with money, all the things that are getting in your way are getting in their way. So once you learn to remove your barriers, you can help them remove theirs. What doesn't work as well is when you sit back and say, well, I want these people to do better, and I'm just going to sit here. No one is going to be more excited than you, more committed than you, more driven than you. You set the emotional temperature. If you're excited, if you're enthusiastic, if you're confident and not faking it, but really actually confident, they will respond differently. If you're in resistance to fundraising, they will be in resistance to fundraising. That's just it. You can't say, well, maybe they like it better than me and I won't have to worry about it. That's not how it works. You embody, you attract what you embody. And when you want them to get better, the first thing you're going to do is say, how can I get better? How can I be the leader? Right? Because when I do better, I bring them with me. You're just going to bring them with you. They're just, the more confident you are, the more confidence you will instill in them. At its heart, fundraising is a team sport. When you coach instead of carry, right? Like carry, like I always think about like an executive director, development director strapping on a backpack and taking the weight of that organization with them every day, all day long. When you get some coaching, it relieves that weight. Yes, you're always going to be carried and there's going to be stress and worry, but you have the tools to navigate it. You have the tools to manage it. Like I said, not when things calm down, I'll get coaching. When you get coaching, things calm down because you're less, it's like you're less about like going down the rapids, going from rock to rock, and you're a reed, and instead you're a reed in the water. You can move, but you're rooted, right? Your roots are in the water, but you're rooted, and you can bend and move, but you certainly don't get tumbled down, the river. And that's what it feels like to be coached. It's not that things aren't hard or difficult, but you have the resources to navigate them. And it's not that I don't get sad or my clients don't get sad or upset, but our reaction time, our bounce back time is better. And we can unpack the lesson in everything because it's happening for us, not to us. So when you coach instead of carry, you stop being the bottleneck. Okay. You stop the flow from you because if you're putting up unknown barriers, right? The conscious leadership means what's unconscious or unknown becomes conscious. And only when I know, when I know what I don't, when I don't know what I, hold on, when I know what I didn't know, right? When the unconscious becomes conscious, that's when I can make changes. That's when I'm a conscious leader. So I can get out of my own way. I stop being the bottleneck that holds things up. I build collective ownership. It's not just me. It's not, it's everyone. And we feel committed. The best boards, the best organizations I've worked with and worked for have collective ownership. Everyone feels a sense of belonging. Everyone feels a sense of ownership and committed to an outcome. And you reduce burnout. If you're here and you're telling me I'm so burnt out, I'm so empty, it's chances are you have been carrying instead of coaching. And I know you can default because I do this in my own life. I can just do it. It'll take me 6 times longer to teach somebody to do it. I'll just do it myself. We're going to shift that mindset because that is not sustainable and that is what's burning you out. Does it take time and energy to coach somebody? Absolutely. But does it pay off in the end? 100%. Because you you create collective ownership. Fundraising at its heart is a team sport. And when you're on a team, that means everybody's a player and everyone is committed to the outcome. Too many development directors and executive directors are overfunctioning, undersupported, and exhausted. And coaching redistributes the emotional and relational labor of fundraising. It helps you navigate it better and it brings other people on board to support you with it. Okay. Part 3. Now I'm going to talk about the power of group coaching, which is what I do. You can get whatever kind of coach you want. You can do individual, you can do group. But this is why I do group coaching. And if you know, my course is called Uplevel Your Influence, right? I teach people how to move people to action, right? Without coercing, convincing, pressuring. People choose to do what you want them to do. They don't have to, they get to, they choose to, they're excited to, they can't wait to. That energy around you is infectious and it like raises you up and it carries you and it fills your cup. So every day is about being energized and supported and excited instead of burned out, tired, and stressed. Okay, let me just talk about why I think group coaching is so important and why I'm committed to it. First of all, it normalizes struggle. I just did a workshop today and I had a bunch of people in it. And it's a bummer that so many people said they're burnt out. And also it was normalizing there's the struggle and that it's okay to struggle. I think a lot of times we get into isolation, into silos, and we get so in our work and we're not seeing other perspectives and we get kind of a tunnel vision. Group coaching massively accelerates insight because it's not just your wisdom or my wisdom, it's the group's wisdom. You wind up learning things and seeing things and that you never even knew you had or existed. And it allows wisdom to circulate. I say this all the time. I'm not the only source of magic. My coach, Michelle, used to say that everyone there has wisdom to share. Everyone there can share a perspective. It reminds us as fundraisers, I'm not broken. I'm not alone. I'm learning. And it reminds leaders, my job is not to have all the answers. My job is to facilitate growth, my growth and the growth of everyone around me. And when you are in a group coaching um, when you're in a group coaching model, it is a safe place for you to unpack all of this, to talk about this, to work through these issues, to understand where your barriers are, to understand how to access your confidence, to reattach to your sovereignty. It gives you a safe space to do that and to do that with people who are all doing the same as you. They're either leading an organization, fundraising for an organization, navigating programming, whatever it is, we're doing it together. So our worlds and our bodies are always seeking balance, and so one of the ways that you can look at this is the fundraising training and the fundraising coaching. The strategy and the coaching provide balance. You have strategy and you have mindset, and they work together, right? And they support each other. What I see is an overemphasis on training and strategy as a solution to mindset, and it is not. Is this a bit like group therapy? Yes. Is it super impactful? Absolutely. When you get some good coaching and you're able to coach other people, life becomes like a super highway. And the barriers just fall away and you're just moving and grooving and feeling good about it. Not that you don't have bad days, not that there's not upset, but you navigate it so much differently. Start with a clear intention, okay? Don't abdicate your success. Don't job it out to others. Claim it. Be patient with yourself and with others and hold accountability with compassion. And most of all, stay sovereign. This is what coaching does and what it can guide you through. If you are interested in working with me, if you are interested in learning what it's like to join I would love to talk with you about it. Whether you work with me or not, the purpose of this podcast is for you to understand that what you may not be dealing with, what may be in your way is not training or strategy, it's coaching. It's the ability to be more self-aware, to be a better leader to yourself, to get out of your own way and help other people do the same. That is really it. And I think because these are more about your internal processes instead of like external, implement this, do that, we may not value it as much. And I don't know if that's like to something I see, but what I can tell you is that's most likely what you're missing and most likely what will move the needle the fastest. My course is 6 weeks long. People make massive shifts in their ability to raise money in 6 weeks. And even in the months after, completely different approach and barriers are falling away. They're meeting with people, they're having amazing, aligned, connected conversations. And it's because they got coaching and they learned to be a coach and learned how to coach everyone around them so that everyone is up leveling. That's the best I can say for you guys. My link is always in the show notes. If you want to connect with me, I would love to talk with you more about it. I can tell you what it's like to work with me if that interests you. If not, at the bottom line, if you book a call with me, I'm going to really help you understand how you can more effectively um, remove some of the barriers in your work and make a plan for you to do that. And if it makes sense for us to talk about working together, we can do that too. And that's it. Go find a fundraising coach. I'll see you next time on The Influential Nonprofit.